Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapbookingwithME.com and Me Crafty Scrapper here on YouTube and Instagram. Today I wanted to show you a little project that I found on Luise's YouTube channel, and I will link her channel and the video that I watched. She made this cute little envelope notebook, is what she called it. And I just think with all the little pockets that it's got in it and the little secret treasure places and the actual signature, even though it is a mini, I think it's still a journal or a folio. So I'm calling this a wraparound envelope journal folio. And mine will be made just a little differently than she made hers, but I'm still going to link her video below because she did inspire this video. I'm going to be using the digitals that I got from Betty Ann Renfro that I showed in my last video. So I've got quite a few things from her here. I've got book page, things like that. And first off, we're going to make the envelope part of this little creation. And I have craft cardstock. This is the Basil dark craft cardstock that we have available in the shop. And when I say shop, I mean www.scrapbookingwithME.com. That is the shop that my mom and I co-own together. So anyways, this is the dark craft cardstock, and I have it cut 9 inches by 9 inches, so 9 by 9. And we are going to make envelopes that are just a little bigger than 5 inches by 6 inches. So when we're using our envelope punch, now if you don't have an envelope punch, you make your envelope however you want to make it. But we are making it just a little bigger than 5 by 6 because that's card size if we were making this envelope just for a card. So it'll be a little bit bigger, but see, you have to cut your paper. Sorry, that's not focusing. 9 inches by 9 inches, in my case cardstock. And we are going to do our first little score line and divot at 4 1/4. So you're going to be making 2 envelopes. And if you have some envelopes already pre-made that you want to use for this, you can make them any size you would like. This is just the size that I chose to make my folio. And then these are the little backer pieces that will go on the back of each of the envelopes. So you're really just going to barely see the edging on this, and it's going to give us a little bit more sturdiness for our mid pocket that we make. So that's why we have those. So if you use some kind of pre-made envelope, you will just need to make your backer sheets, and you'll need 2 of those. You'll just need to make those just like 1/8 of an inch bigger than your envelope when it's folded. So let's go ahead and get this started, and I will show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're going to go around and make our envelope, lining up our score lines and then making the new score line. There we go. Now this will not be a perfectly square envelope. That's what I wanted. So if you want, like I said, a different size, you can totally make these any size you would like. So I'm just folding over all the score lines, and I will figure out what's top, bottom, all that after I get all the score lines folded over. Now I have 2 smaller sides, so I think my bigger side will be there, and that will be my other sides. Yep, I think that's going to work. So I just need to cut out that top little corner because it's going to go like dun, 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 like that. And if you were just using paper, you could just fold that over like that and make, you know, yourself a little cut and just fold it over and glue it on the inside. But this is cardstock, so I needed to go ahead and just cut that off. So I'm going to score all my lines really well. Then you end up with an envelope that is 6 1/8 by 5 1/2. So 6 1/8 by 5 1/2. And I have cut my backer sheets of cardstock at 6 1/4 by 5 5/8. And see, that just gives me just a hint of it showing all the way around. Alright, so I'm going to do that same thing to this one. And if you have a envelope, I call it a score pal, but it's an envelope maker by the same company. We are Memory Keepers. Sorry, Score Pal's not made by them, are they? Oh well, anyway. If you have an envelope scoring punch board, envelope punch board, whatever it's called, and you've never used it before, I'm showing you right now how you make an envelope that would fit a card that is 5 inches by 6 inches. So you go to the 4 1/4 mark here, and I know it is not the clearest image to you just because I'm a little further away from the camera, but take my word for it, you go to the 4 1/4, you punch, you make your score line here, then you don't go by these numbers anymore. You go by this score line lining up with this little piece protruding out here. So as long as this little piece is lined up with your score line you just made, you're turning your paper or cardstock or whatever you're punching counterclockwise, and you're just lining up those score lines now. No need to worry about the numbers anymore. Okay, last one, and then see, when you get done, all of your score lines line up with your notches. So, all the banging in the background is Aaron Jonas cleaning. We have a ministry trip coming up, and so he is always cleaning the house, but when there is a ministry trip coming up, he is extra cleaning the house. He's got to get it all just so. Okay, so this is going to be, make sure that they match up, and they do. So this is going to be my bottom. I'm just going to whack off that so it lines up. We're good there. Now I'm going to ink my edges, and I think I'm going to go with Vintage Photo for this project. So I'm going to take off this, put on this, and get all inky along with everything else. And then there's no need to ink the inside except for the top, and that is just whenever you get your backer put on. You'll ink that top because we're going to have it like this, and then this is going to, if I can hold on to anything, I'll show you. This is going to go here, but this is going to be open up top, so you're going to have your envelopes like this, and this is going to be open, and you will ink that just so that when you're putting things down in there, you can see that inked edge. But right now, let's just ink our envelopes all the way around. So I like mine a little bit more grungy than most, so you can ink as little or as much as you would like, but that's how I'm going to ink mine. I'm going to go ahead and get the other one done, and then we'll come back, put our backers on, and ink the tops of those. Okay, we can go ahead and put our envelopes together. So I'm going to use some score tape, and I'm going to put it up against this. And then I will go ahead and put it on the edge of this also. So we make sure to get a good sturdy closure. Then I'm going to put my 2 points together and then pull up and put my bottom onto the 2 side flaps. So there's our first envelope, and then let's do the same thing to this one. Okay, now we will put on our backers, and just whatever side, I have a side that's textured, so I think I'll put it facing outward like this, and just go ahead and put your adhesive on the back of your envelope, not on your backer since it's bigger. I'm going to do a crisscross. And then crisscross here. And then just a piece across the middle. And then a piece this way. Then I'm just going to line up that backer board that is just a tiny bit bigger than the envelope, and try not to get it stuck where it's not supposed to be stuck. There we go, it is. And we have to rip it up because it decided to do what I didn't want it to do. So let's put more score tape down now. I just love it when it does that. And you know what? I'm not cutting this out. Y'all need to see the mistakes that everybody makes. There is no crafter that is perfect. When you have that much score tape on the back of something, it is going to pull at stuff sometimes, mess something up. It's not always going to go your way. That's for sure. Alright, there we go. That is better. There we go. So we got our little backer on there. Whew, that red is loud looking on screen. It is not that bright, but my camera does not like the color red, that's for sure. I'm going to be using some Valentine themed papers with this though, so I thought red would go really well with the craft color. So I'm going to do the same thing to this one and try not to mess up the score tape and the cardstock backer whenever I do this one. Okay, so we have our envelopes with our backers. And then I'm going to ink just the inside top of each of the backers. So that's the top of my envelope. I'm just inking that top inside of the backer, just so that when we are putting things in and out of that top pocket, we'll see that finished look of inking. Right, then we are going to lay out our envelopes side by side like this. Okay, so top, lay them down like this. And then I'm going to get a piece of washi tape. It does not matter what your washi tape looks like. This is just to help us get a hinge started. So I'm going to turn mine sideways and just make sure that you have the tops and the tops right beside each other. And then just put down a piece of washi tape, and we're just reinforcing those two sides right there. They are eventually going to have something else on top of it here, so we're just reinforcing that there. And I think I will put a piece of fabric down on that also. So let's do just a thin piece of, I have muslin. I'm going to use that. And gracious, Erin J, what are you doing in there? I'm just going to kind of trim it a little bit. It's not going to be seen, but you know, just want to trim it slightly. Okay, and I'm good with the little strings hanging down. I am totally good with that. And I'm going to put it in with some Fabrifix, and we're just making kind of like that book spine that you would make before you put in a signature, but this one is going to be a little bit backwards as far as where the signature goes. It's not going to go here on the inside. We're just preparing our top pocket right now. So I'll put that down right over the washi tape and get my, I think I'll get this so I don't get my bone folder all gloopy. I'll get my silicone spreader and spread that out. Okay, then we are going to make a gusset for the bottom and this side here, so that when we put those gussets, glue those gussets together, we will have the entire space. Glue our gussets together, then we'll have that entire space inside. So I need another piece of scrap, and it doesn't matter what color these are because they will be on the inside of this folio. I need to get my ruler out just to make sure of my size I need here. So let's go with 6 1/8. So I need 6 1/8. Let's do 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch by 6 1/8. And then 1/2 inch by 5 1/2. Okay, then I'm going to just score these right down the middle. If you need to go to the edge, go for it. I'm just going to put it here in the middle and keep it steady, and hopefully have a line right down the middle of the gusset there. There we go. And then we are folding over, and your open ends are going to go toward the top, and then the other, I did not get that one down the middle, but I think we'll still be fine. We'll go down like this, and we'll have the open ends toward the inside. And I'm just going to put that down with some 1/8 inch score tape. Tape on both sides. So you are only going to take tape off of one side and put down your gusset, because you will have to sew in your signature inside this before we close it completely up. I'm going to go all the way to the edge, outer edge, this way. And so that gives us room here to still sew. I'm leaving that open, and then I'm going to take my score tape off of this side. Making sure that the opened end is toward the inside here. Okay, I'm leaving that side open, and then that way when we close them together, we will have that gusset at the bottom, gusset on the side, and when we put things down in there, we can slide more things in because the entire pocket will be available. So now for the outside, you can decorate however you would like. We're going to make something to go down in here, journal cards or whatever to go down in both of your envelopes. So these will be working envelopes here. For the outside, we're going to put together a signature. You can go ahead and leave your envelope flaps up. I've got this one piece of cardstock that is 12 inches long, and it's going to be my bottom piece. So when you close up, see, you've got a nice little mat around here, so you can still see the envelope. This is 5 inches tall. So all of my papers will be 5 inches tall or shorter. You're not digging into the top flap here, and we're going to have a closure down here, so you don't need them to come any further down either. So that's going to be my bottom piece. And it, like I said, is 12 inches long, and I just folded it in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and score that. Okay, so you get the premise of what we're doing. We're going to have a closure here, like eyelets and string, and the string closure is going to close at the bottom. And then you open up the string closure and you flip up your envelope, and you have book pages here, like a journal signature. And we're going to sew it in there. And then you would flip it over, and you have journal pages the opposite way on this side. And then when you open it up, you've got a spot here for a little journal card, and then this will be all closed up, and you'll have a top pocket here also. Okay, so let's get together some more papers for our journal signature. And most all of my papers are 8.5 by 11, and I've just cut them down to 5 inches and left the length as is. I just kind of roughed up this one just to see what it would look like, and I really like it, so I'm going to go probably with that for all of my papers. So you'll have staggered papers, and then you might have another longer one, and staggered papers, and maybe another longer one. So if you've got some 12 by 12 paper, not cardstock, but 12 by 12 paper that you want to cut down to this, you just cut it down to 5 inches by, leave it the length the way it is, 12, and fold it in half, and you'll have some longer ones too. I just don't have that much paper. This is a piece of cardstock. It'll be the only piece of cardstock in my signature, so I'm good with that. I'm going to have some book page in mine also that I'm going to cut down. Everything that I have picked up today to cut with my Tim Holtz trimmer has been too wide for my Tim Holtz trimmer. So I've got this paper that I like this edge of it, so I'm just going to leave it as is and maybe cut it down just a little bit shorter than 5 inches. And then fold this in half. And put that on. I might cut that down just a touch more. We can take it off of that for right now. And you're just making sure that nothing is taller than 5 inches. I like how that looks. Okay, and then we have some tea stain papers that we can use in here. I've got, if I can pull it out without pulling everything out, I've got some notebook paper. I've got just some ink dyed papers. Let me get a couple of those. And then a regular tea stain piece of copy paper if I've got it. They might all be notebook paper that I have left. Oh, there's one. Okay. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then let's use some of this. I'm going to use one more book page. That'll be 9. And then use a little bit more 10. Let's go for 12. Let's see here. So there's 12. I'm not really concerned about the white edging. If you are, go ahead and cut off your digitals if that's what you're using. So I'm going to cut all of these 5 inches or shorter and get them lined up for our signature. So I've got them all cut, and there is digital, tea stain notebook, ink dyed copy, tea stain copy, book page, digital, and then that is ink dyed that needs to be moved to the middle, and then digital, notebook, book page, digital, and then our one piece of cardstock that's going to go right up against our envelopes. So now we're going to put all of those papers up against your envelopes, and so I would need to pull these down some. This is the wraparound part of our wraparound envelope journal folio. So we've got, it's already looking cool. I love this. I'm really loving that string that's coming from that fabric on the inside too. So here is the start of our folio. I'm really loving this already. Okay, I'm going to go through, like I did on this paper, I'm going to go through and rough up these other papers, and I'm just kind of ripping and crumpling and ripping and crumpling. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to go in with my not tea stain. This is not tea dye. This is vintage photo. I'm going to go through with my vintage photo, and I'm going to ink around all of these also. So they're going to be roughed up on the edges, and then they're going to be distress inked also. And you do not have to do this step if you don't want to. You want your pages to be flat and crisp. You do not have to do this part. I just like the look of the distressed edge. So I'm doing that. And see, that just looks better to me. Some might say that's just a messy something or another, but I like that look. And so I'm going to do that to this same thing to this side, and then go through and ink everything. I will take it apart, of course, and then just go through inking all of the pages, front and back. So this is going to take probably the longest out of the entire folio. So just take your time and go around and ink all of your papers and meet me back here. Phew. Okay, I have everything inked and crinkled and distressed like I want it. And then on the inside of my cardstock piece that I put back here, I put one of the offcuts from the coffee dye or ink dyed paper on the inside of that, just so we can have some room for journaling there. I'm going to line this up, all of this up together like I want it, and get my paper clips. Okay, so I've got those. It's going to go in like that. Let's open this up. Whoop, it's going to go in like this. Let's open that up. Make sure everything looks good. Oh, I love it already. Look at it, how pretty. I think I will put some of that fabric on the outside here also. I have some that I've dyed. Let me find that. And I'm going to cut a piece. We're just using that so it can be reinforced here on the outside. So I need to cut it about there. Let's go ahead and fold it over of how we need it. And then I'm going to trim it like that. Put my excess up, and I'll really fray that out. Okay, and then I will attach that to the side there. Have it kind of folded in the middle. I might need to cut off a little bit of that. It might be a little too wide. So let's trim that. And then we can fray the other side. Let's go straight across with this cut. Maybe that's a little better. Yes, it is. And then fray both sides. So then we got it frayed like we want it. And let's see about that width now. That's better. Yep, that's a better width. So we will use that after we have sewn this. No, let's just, we can go ahead and put that on, and then we can sew through that also. All right, we are going to have to sew, make our journal spine here. Got my wax thread, my awl, my foam. Okay, then I'm going to take this off of here. I'm going to make sure of my placement. This needs to go up some. So let's get them all moved up a touch. There we go. And then I am clipping to the inside of this and my signature. Same thing on this side. There we go. So now we are clipped to our envelope, and we're going to do this backwards signature. So our cover is going to be on the inside and our signature is going to be on the outside. I love it already. Okay, let's get that sewn in. We've got everything like we want it here on the outside edge. And let's go ahead and put on with some Fabrics, our dyed fabric. And this is the same fabric that I put on the inside. This is just some that I had dyed with some ink. And just on the outside of our signature spine here, we're going to put this fabric just to have a little reinforcement, and you know, wear and tear will maybe be taken care of putting this on the outside to reinforce that spine and get that where you want it there, and then add glue as necessary. And we're going to take out some wax thread. Now you can use stitch, just regular thread that you use with cross stitch or sewing or whatever. You don't have to use wax thread. I just happen to have it, so we're going to use it. Okay, and then I'm going to go just eyeball the middle here. Let's go down just a touch and go through everything. Hopefully we can get through everything. I didn't put glue here on my fabric, so maybe, oh yeah, we're through. Good, good, good. Back, and then another about here, and go all the way through. And then back out. And back through again. All the way. There we go. And then let's thread our needle. I have ink all over my hand, so, and glue. So y'all just excuse that. Then we're going to go through. It might take a little bit because, you know, you've got fabric on the inside and you've got fabric on the outside. And I didn't pull my thread far enough. There we go. I need plenty of thread in the middle to to tie with. My big fumble fingers, I have to have lots of thread at the tail end, so I'm leaving myself quite a bit. And then we are going to get on the struggle bus and pull this through. Then we're going to fold up and go through our last hole at the bottom and struggle bust that again because we're going through so much, and then back through that middle hole, hopefully, and go on the other side of that middle thread if the fabric will cooperate on this side. Here we go. Nope, we don't want to split that thread there. Okay, there we go. Through the other side. And then we're going to pull our tail through because we still got it sticking out on the other side. Take our needle off. We're on either side of that middle thread. I'm just tossing it around a couple of times, making sure we're tight. We want to go to the outside. Make sure we're tight there. We feel very tight. So I'm good with that. One more time maybe. And then I'm going to make about 3 or 4 knots. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to get my bone folder and I'm going to press down on that knot. There we go. And then I think I'm just going to leave those there because we'll never be at that again. It's going to be closed up. And kind of leave those tails hanging out there. I like that look. This is a raggedy journal, so that just goes along with that. We can take our paper clips off now and be careful when you're taking it off on your gusset side so you don't tear up anything. Okay, then I'm going to get some liquid glue. Now this is just regular art glitter, and I'm just going to go along this side where we just sewed that spine in. That's just going to give us a little bit more reinforcement all the way up. And then we're going to take off our backs on our score tape, and we're going to close up this big middle pocket. Okay, leave those tails out if you want to, like that. Lay over our bottom gusset, line it up so we don't have anything protruding out, and then line up that side also, and then lay that down and burnish that down really well. And then same thing with that spine because you've got that liquid glue there. All right, now I'm going to lay down those flaps, open that up, and look at there, you got that middle pocket there. Then you can, of course, decorate your pages how you want. And then we can make ourselves some 5x6 journal cards to go down in there. Remember, because when we started with our envelope punch, that was the size card that would fit in that size envelope that we made. So we know that our journal cards that we put inside there can be 5 inches by 6 inches and fit quite well. So let me put all of this up, dictionary page on them, and then maybe, let me get them out here. Yeah, some of these cut aparts that I printed on cardstock, 110-pound cardstock, and we can put some of these on our journal cards that we put down in there. I think I'm going to get some more craft paper. I think I will make the middle insert out of the craft paper, and I think, Yeah, I will make my inserts for each one of the envelopes out of this red cardstock. So let's get this, and we want to make it 6 inches by 5 inches. And let's just try our math and make sure that it's going to work. Okay, I'm getting a little resistance, so let's cut that length down just a little bit more. 5 3/8 by 5. 5 3/8 by 5 is our insert here. Okay, so let's do the insert for the other side. Okay, there's that one. And if we put some dictionary page on, and then a little bit of decoration from the same digital kit. I like that, just kind of simple decoration on our journal cards that are going to go down in here. And then of course you have plenty of room to write on the backs. I'm going to round the corners of my journal insert, and then ink those edges, and then our simple little journal card is ready to go in our envelope like that. And then I'm probably going to stamp some around on this and maybe add some of the beautiful florals to some of the corners of the envelopes. I will do the same thing on this side as far as decorating. And then we'll need to decorate our flaps, and we can decorate on the inside and on the outside. And then if you want to do any decorating of your pages, so like this plain page here, I would get some ink and do a little bit of splattering, and then just splatter like that, and then add a little cluster of some kind in the corner just to kind of dress up that page. So around like this, and then kind of ink a little bit on one edge, add a little bit of dictionary page, and a little die cut of some kind. These are the little tea cards from Betty's Custom Design on Etsy. Just maybe like so. I like that. They are tiny little tea cards until you put them in a mini journal. Then they're a little bigger, but I like that size. Too cute. So see, we've got our splatters over here, and then we've got our little bit of decoration and plenty still room to journal on there. Make sure that's laid down good. So I'll go through and do some little clusters on some of these plainer pages, and we can add some lace to the edges of our pages also, and I will put that through the sewing machine and just sew it to the edge of that page there. And don't forget, when you are doing your decorating on the pages, that you have even more pages on the other side. Okay, I will bring you back at the end and show you all of my decorating. We'll do a final flip through, but let's go ahead and get our closure down. I'm going to do a little reinforced circle. Now I've got cardstock, so it is pretty sturdy, but just kind of like a decorative look to it, and I will ink around that, and we'll add it there at the point, because this is just paper, that's cardstock, so we won't need to overlap that at all, like so. And do another one for the other side, and then I'm setting mine for my closure. I'm going to set it with eyelets, so I'm going to, these are wide eyelets, so I will need to use the larger hole. Let me get my yuck out of there so I can actually see, to make the circle, or make the hole in the middle of our circle there. And same thing here. Our glue is still wet, that's why it was giving me some resistance. So we got our holes on there. We're going to set our eyelets like this. That was nice. I like it when a plan comes together. And sometimes my eyelet setting skills are not the greatest in the world, but that worked out very well. I love that. I love how that looks. Now let's get some trim of some kind for our closure. I was gifted this ribbon, and I do not remember who it is from, but look at that, how well it goes. It's got white and red in it, and then like a transparent kind of satin look to it. I'm just going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to do library knot. Let's trim, let's give a little diagonal look to that. We're going to go through our eyelets with our loose tails, and then come around. Oh, I love it. I just love it. Let's do it around like that. Yes, beautiful. Okay, and then I'm going to tell you my ribbon are about 16 inches long, and that's before I diagonal cut and put them in, fold them around. Pretty. Now, other than Valentine's Day and Christmas, I would probably never go with red, but that is some pretty ribbon. Love that. Let's try to get this one as nice and clean looking as the other side is. Very pretty. Okay, and then we're going to close it up like this, and no bow, just a little loose knot. Okay, and you can turn that knot any way you would like, as far as front, back, side, whatever. This is my front, so let me loosen that knot and come around and do my closing knot on this side. Too cute. Love that. Now, if you did not want to put eyelets in, set them with eyelets, whatever, then you could do a large paper clip and paper clip it here and use that as your closure. Of course, you would not use this paper clip, but I'm just saying, if you had a large paper clip, you could just clip it closed like that. Now, for our top pocket, insert, whatever, we are needing to make, let me put my eyelet box up. I'm going to make my insert for the top pocket. I'm going to make it 6 1/8 wide, and then 5 1/2, and just see how much I need to trim off of that top. So let's get our craft cardstock. Okay, 6 1/8, and let's just try it in there. Okay, it fits, but it is snug, so let's just go with 6. So 6 wide, and see if that gives us a little bit ease of resistance. Oh yeah, that's better, but let's just go on. Let's just go on down. Another 1/8 of an inch, and that will be fine. So we're looking at 1/8, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 7/8, 5 7/8. I am no good at measurements. All right, and then I'm going to cut it 5 1/2. Okay, let's go down to 5 3/8. I still think we'll have to go down a little bit further because you want it kind of flush. You're going to put a tab on the top of it. Nope, we're good. That's good. It's almost flush, and it would be if I pressed down just a little bit further. So we're good there. So let's go with that. And let's add a tab to the top. And you can even add more than just one insert up here too. You've got plenty of room for more than one insert. I'm going to round just the top corners. Ink my edges. And I will go in with just some material. I love this. Just kind of make myself a tab like that. And then of course you can decorate this up if you want to. Also, I am going to, I think I'm going to go to this side, and I'm going to staple it on with my Tim Holtz tiny attacher. And it is a tab to help you pull it in and out. So you need it to be above your cardstock or whatever you're using. And I'm going to put there and there to make sure it holds well. And then I will do another one on this side, because this side doesn't seem like it's holding as well. There we go. Now that's on good and secure. And I'll put my journal piece in there. And there I've got that little Oh gracious, look at my fingers. I got that little tab there at the top, so you could do another one and put your tab at the other side if you wanted to. So now I'm going to go through and do some stamping. I will probably use, I'm going to stay away from butterflies for this project. I have made lots and lots of stuff with butterflies lately, and I'm going to stay away from that. I'm going to use my ledger script on some of this for accents, and maybe on some of the pages too. And then I will also use the field notes and go through and do some stamping with that too. And then I'll come back and give you a final flip through and show you all the decoration and the final product. Yay, final flip through. I am done. I have done a bunch of grungy stamping and I love it. I just love it. I also earlier did not tell you that I was using the Tim Holtz Distress Spray Stain, and it is the tarnished brass. So that's what I used on the pages. So let's get to flipping through first. Without even untying, we have that top journaling card coming out there. Look how big and nice. Great size for some serious journaling there. I added just a little bit of washi tape to the tops of each, just to give it a little bit more character. And then I'm going to untie my closure. And when we open up there, I've got stamping on the inside of that, and of that flap, and then more washi there. Same thing over here, added some washi there. Open it up and flip through, and there is all kinds of stamping and ink splatters and some paper piecing there. We got just a little ephemera cluster there, and just kind of off stamped. I love the glisten that tarnished brass gives to the project. I mean, look at those pages. Too pretty, and I love the distressing on the edges. So there's my pages. And I did a zigzag stitch and put that ribbon on there. Love it. And then there is the inside, and then there's the journaling card that's down in that. Just left it blank on the other side and did bunches of stamping on the envelope. And then when you flip it over, we're going to flip backwards in our pages and just see the stamping that I did and the ink splatters, and adding a few die cuts here and there. That is from the vintage Valentine ad print that Betty Ann Renfro did. It is so cute. More stamping and inking and paper piecing, die cut. I did some more zigzag stitch with that ribbon there. Another die cut on that side. And then our inside cardstock piece. And then that journaling card. Beautiful tag by Betty Ann. Love it. And then lots more stamping on that envelope too. So this has been like a favorite project. I love this project. Love that the signature's on the outside and we're really looking at a partial cover. I had not thought of that, so I appreciate Luise for showing off her idea, and I I love that I am able to make my own out of what I found on her channel. That is what YouTube is all about. We inspire each other, and I'm glad that people like to share their ideas so that other people can try it out too. So I hope that you have tried out this new style of envelope folio. So I'm calling mine that I've done a wrap around envelope journal folio, and it is inspired by Luise, and again I will link her channel in the description box below. I've got you some still shots at the end because my camera is not wanting to focus today. So got still shots at the end, up close and personal. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. God bless. Bye, y'all.